Hey guys, welcome back to the Health Formula Show. Today I'm sharing something very personal because if you've ever struggled with eczema or if your child has been diagnosed with eczema and you feel like you've tried everything and nothing works, I get it. I've been there, I've lived it, and I have healed my eczema with no steroids. So what I'm going to do in this episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it, my personal journey, the mistakes that I made, the real root causes, and what actually worked so that you can start healing too. So let's do a little rewind. Now, I was that kid who was constantly sick growing up, ear infections all the time. And like most kids back then, I was given antibiotics over and over again. I would take one round and boom, like my immune system would crash again, and then another infection, then more antibiotics. And again, I want to be very clear here because I don't blame my parents at all. They were just doing the best that they could with the information that they had, with what they knew. But like looking back, I can see it now. My immune system was so weak from the beginning. I wasn't breastfed for long, and my gut and my immune system just never got that strong foundation from the beginning. So fast forward to my teenage years, I got really into fitness, into nutrition, or what I thought was, quote unquote nutrition. And I was doing all of the healthy girl, in quotation mark things like low fat diets, lots of dairy, gluten heavy meals, brown toast with like turkey slices, cottage cheese, skimmed milk, low fat yogurts. And I generally thought that I was being super healthy, especially compared to my friends who were eating McDonald's or whatever it was. But what I didn't realize was that all of this was actually destroying my body. Like the dairy, inflammatory, acidic, mucus forming, gluten, damaging my gut lining, causing leaky gut, destroying my immune system. But I had no idea back then, and I really thought that I was thriving. Then in my third year of law school, it all came crashing down, and that is when I started developing eczema, like really severe eczema. It started on my hands, then on my wrists, then spread to my face, like under my eyes. It was so painful. It was so itchy. It was so inflamed. And honestly, like if you are watching this on YouTube, I am going to be popping a photo on the screen right now so that you can see what my hands looked like at the time, because it was very rough, and it wasn't just like a dry patch. It was red, it was cracked, bleeding skin that kept me up at night. And I remember just waking up in the middle of the night, scratching myself until I bled. And I was wearing gloves and scarves to like university just to hide it, because I was so self-conscious. And like most people, I went to the GP, they gave me steroid creams, they told me it had nothing to do with my diet. And of course I didn't know any better back then. So I did try everything, everything that they gave me, but it barely helped. So I went to see, one of the top dermatologists on Harley Street in London, and they really swore that, it had nothing to do with what I was eating. Like I even asked, could this be linked to gluten or dairy or what I'm eating? And he just looked at me as if I was crazy, and just gave me more steroids, more creams, and more disappointment. And then eventually, by pure chance, I stumbled across functional medicine. And when I learned about food sensitivities and gut health, everything just kind of like clicked. And I had so many food intolerances, not just gluten and dairy, but basically everything: nuts, seeds, avocados, cacao, lots of fruits. I couldn't really eat out. I couldn't go to restaurants. I couldn't even have nut milk. And I remember that the only thing that I was eating was lentils, green beans, and squash for weeks, because those were like the only foods that I could eat without, triggering a massive reaction. And it was so depressing, but it was the only thing that gave me relief from like the itching. And so eventually I did run my functional medicine lab tests, and finally I had some answers, and I had candida overgrowth, I had massive bacterial imbalance, I had leaky gut, my entire digestive system was a mess, and no GP ever tested me for that. My medical doctors didn't do that. No dermatologist ever looked into it. And here's the thing, like if I hadn't run those labs, I would still be stuck. I can guarantee you that, because there's no way I could have guessed what was going on in my body, right, without seeing it clearly. So after testing, I did my proper first functional medicine detox, like a real functional medicine detox, not like a juice cleanse or like some random influencer thing. And back then there wasn't like a proper protocol like the 21-day reset that I now formulated for Synergized. So I really had to like piece it all together from different sources, so many different supplements, but it did help. a lot. The inflammation started to come down. My gut got much stronger. My body finally had like the chance to actually heal. And so eventually I went on to study integrative and functional medicine, became a certified nutritional therapist, because honestly, I couldn't find anyone who really understood my case. I was working with so many different practitioners, but none of them knew how to read those lab test reports. So I just had to take matters into my own hands. And that is how Synergized was born, like out of years of struggle, of self-education, and finally real healing. And so since then, I have helped hundreds of people heal their eczema, from toddlers to adults. I've seen it all, like truly, I've seen it all. And if you go to paulabenedict.com/episode 370, which is the URL for today, I have added some before and after photos of clients that I've worked with. So go check it out, because I want you to see what's possible. I do want you to know that you don't have to live with eczema for the rest of your life. You just need to find the root cause. And the part that I really want you to hear is that two people can have the exact same eczema symptoms in the same places in the body, but totally different root causes. For one person, it might be candida. And then for the other person, it might be just a histamine overload, or it could be parasites, or it could be heavy metals, or it could be liver congestion. And so this is why testing matters so much, because there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. And so what I want you to know is that if you're listening to this and if you're thinking like, where do I even start? What worked for me is fixing my nutrition. Honestly, removing inflammatory foods like gluten and dairy, running these at-home functional medicine labs to find the actual imbalances, targeted supplementation, not just like random pills from the pharmacy or random supplements, a functional medicine detox to really calm down the inflammation, unless it's a toddler, obviously, really support your liver, gut healing, and then afterwards, nervous system work to really regulate stress. And what most people get wrong about eczema is that they think that creams will solve it, or that diet alone is enough, or they just take like random probiotics without knowing what's going on in their gut. But real healing really takes a root cause approach. And so sometimes the solution is very simple, but sometimes it does take time, right? And my job as a practitioner is to be the detective, but it's always possible. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who's struggling with eczema right now, because they really deserve answers as well. And if you are ready to take the next step, go and explore lab testing. You are more than welcome to do it with us. You can find it at paulabenedict.com/labs, or just run it with your local trusted functional medicine doctor. Either way, there is a way forward, and I want to help you find it. So never lose hope. I'll see you next week. And before you go, take a moment to acknowledge yourself for wanting to become the healthiest version of yourself. Before you head off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a weekly episode. We cover everything from functional medicine to gut health to hormones to weight loss to skin health to natural beauty, you name it. All of the topics that truly matter. And if there's something that you would love me to cover, just drop it in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.